What's up, Commanders HQ family? Let me tell you this right at the start. Our Washington Commanders are working every single day to get sharper, to get tougher, and to put together the kind of performances that will bring real results this season. The coaches are pushing, the players are grinding, and the mission is simple: improvement every single week. And that's why today's update is such a big one. We're talking about Jayden Daniels, our quarterback, the reigning Offensive Rookie of the Year, who has just announced his plan for this Sunday. Plus, we've got breaking updates on right guard Sam Cosmi returning to practice. These two pieces of news could completely change the outlook for Washington as we head into Week 5. Before we jump in, do me a huge favor. Hit that like button right now. It really helps the channel, and it tells YouTube that Commanders Nation wants more coverage like this. And if you're new here, subscribe so you never miss our exclusive breakdowns. All right, let's dive into it. Commanders fans, we've been waiting for this moment. Jayden Daniels has missed the last 2 games with a knee sprain, and let's be honest, the team just hasn't been the same without him. Marcus Mariota has done what he can, splitting those 2 starts, but we all know that number 5 changes everything. This week, during his press conference, Jayden himself made it clear his plan is to play Sunday against the Los Angeles Chargers. His exact words, "I felt good out there, and yeah, that's the plan. I plan on going out there on Sunday." That's music to the ears of Commanders fans. Daniels admitted it was tough being sidelined. Obviously, as a competitor, you want to go out there and help your team in any way possible. So being sidelined these past couple of weeks was super tough. I felt like I could go 2 weeks ago, but I don't make those calls. That's vintage Jayden, hungry, competitive, and ready to put the team first. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. A lot of quarterbacks, after a knee injury, might shy away from using their legs. But Daniel says he's not going to let this setback change who he is. He made it clear he still plans to use his scrambling ability. At the same time, he also said he's learning when to slide, when to go out of bounds, and when to just live to see another down. That's growth, and it's exactly what head coach Dan Quinn has been preaching. Quinn put it perfectly. The only thing worse than missing games is not taking lessons. On scrambles, when do I get down? When do I go out of bounds? Jayden is still growing. He's not anywhere near the top of what he's going to be, so that lights me up. Think about that, Commanders fans. Our quarterback already had one of the greatest rookie seasons ever, and his head coach is saying he hasn't even scratched the surface yet. Let's be real here. This team looks completely different with Daniels under center. His arm talent stretches defenses, his legs create chaos for pass rushers, and his leadership sets the tone. In weeks 3 and 4 without him, the offense was serviceable, but it lacked that spark. The defense gave up too many explosive plays, and the offense just couldn't keep pace. With Daniels back, suddenly you've got Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel, Luke McCaffrey, and Ben Sinnott back in rhythm with their QB1. This isn't just about one player returning, it's about the entire offense returning to form. But Daniels isn't the only big piece of news this week. Commanders Nation, we've also got Sam Cosmi back on the practice field. That's huge. Cosmi tore his ACL back in January during the playoff run, and many people wondered how quickly he'd recover. Now, not even a full year later, he's already back at practice. The team has 21 days to activate him from injured reserve, and while it's unlikely he plays against the Chargers, the fact that he's out there is a massive boost. Remember, Cosmi just signed a 4-year, $74 million extension before last season. He's one of the cornerstones of this offensive line, and he was instrumental in protecting Daniels during that historic rookie campaign. Getting him back in the lineup not only strengthens pass protection, but also helps an already dominant running game that's averaging 154 rushing yards per contest, second best in the NFL. Think about that combination. Daniels returning at quarterback and Cosmi close to returning at right guard. That's the backbone of the offense coming back just in time to make a push. Now, let's zoom out for a second. The Commanders are 2 and 4. That's not where we wanted to be, but it's also not a disaster. With Daniels healthy, McLaurin coming back from injury, and Cosmi close to a return, this roster looks much different than it did the last 2 weeks. And here's the thing. This is a team built to win now. General Manager Adam Peters has been aggressive, Dan Quinn has brought in his culture, and the locker room is filled with leaders. You add your start quarterback and your best offensive lineman back in the mix, and suddenly 2-4 feels a whole lot different. Remember last season, Washington made it within one game of the Super Bowl with a defense that wasn't elite. What carried them was Daniels' playmaking and an offensive line that gave him time to operate. That recipe is still there, and it might even be better once everyone is healthy. So now all eyes turn to this Sunday at SoFi Stadium. The Commanders go on the road to face the Chargers, who are going to test Washington's defense through the air. This is a chance for the secondary to bounce back and show improvement after last week's struggles against Atlanta. But the bigger storyline will be number 5 back on the field. If Jayden Daniels is out there and looking like himself, this offense immediately goes from average to dangerous. This game could be the turning point of the season, a moment where Washington reestablishes itself as a real contender in the NFC. Washington officially activated Cosmi's 21-day practice window, opening the door for his eventual return to game action after recovering from a torn ACL he suffered back in the playoffs against the Detroit Lions. Let's be honest, this is massive. The Commanders' offensive line hasn't looked the same without him. His presence, his consistency, and his ability to dominate in the trenches have been sorely missed through the first 4 weeks of the season. Head coach Dan Quinn and the staff have been cautious with Cosmi, and rightfully so. ACL injuries are no joke, especially for linemen who battle every snap in the most physical part of the field. But the good news is this: Quinn has been encouraged by Cosmi's recovery all summer long. He kept saying that Sam was hitting every milestone, every marker on the way back. Now, the light at the end of the tunnel is finally in sight. Now let's talk about why this matters so much. Washington is sitting at 2-4, a record that has left fans feeling both hopeful and frustrated. The offense has been serviceable, but not dominant. Jayden Daniels has missed time with that knee sprain, and Marcus Mariota has filled in admirably, but the offense just hasn't had the same juice without number 5 under center. And while Daniels' return is critical, having a strong offensive line to protect him is just as important.
That's where Sam Cosmi comes in. Remember, before the injury, Cosmi had cemented himself as one of the best young interior offensive linemen in football. His move from tackle to guard was a revelation. It unlocked his full potential and gave the Commanders a reliable anchor on the right side. He was so impactful that Washington rewarded him with a 4-year, $74 million extension before last season, the first major extension handed out by GM Adam Peters. That tells you everything you need to know about how highly this organization values him. Now, without Cosmi, the Commanders have had to piece things together. Nick Allegredin struggled to hold the spot down. Andrew Wiley has been better, but it's clear this line has lacked the dominance it showed last season. The running game is still top tier, ranking second in the NFL at over 150 yards per game, but imagine how much better it can be when Cosmi slides back into that right guard spot. Imagine Jayden Daniels having that extra second in the pocket to unleash a deep ball to Terry McLaurin or Deebo Samuel. Imagine Brian Robinson Jr. and Chris Rodriguez running behind a line that finally has its full strength back. That's a game changer, folks. But here's the important thing. This is still a process. The Commanders aren't going to rush Cosmi back. He's too valuable long-term to risk setbacks. So while we shouldn't expect to see him suiting up against the Chargers, the fact that he's back at practice is a huge morale boost for the entire locker room. And sometimes morale is just as important as scheme. The guys know they're getting one of their leaders back, and that can light a spark. Think about the timing here, too. The Commanders are heading into a tough stretch of the schedule. After the Chargers, they'll see several playoff-caliber opponents. Getting Cosmi back for that run could be the difference between staying in the playoff race or falling behind. Washington shocked the NFL last season by making it all the way to the NFC Championship. That run was fueled by a balanced offense, strong leadership from Jayden Daniels, and, you guessed it, a cohesive offensive line led by Cosmi. Dan Quinn put it best this week when he talked about Jayden Daniels' return. He said the only thing worse than missing games is not learning from them. That same mindset applies to Cosmi. This injury, as tough as it was, has given him time to grow mentally, to watch from the sidelines, and to prepare for his comeback stronger than ever. And knowing the kind of competitor he is, you better believe he's going to bring the fire when he steps back onto that field. So let's put it all together. Washington is 2-4. Jayden Daniels is planning his return against the Chargers, and now Sam Cosmi is back on the practice field, eyeing a return to the starting lineup in the weeks ahead. That's the kind of 1-2 punch this team desperately needs right now. Because the truth is, when Jayden is healthy and protective, this offense can go toe-to-toe with anyone in the league. This news couldn't have come at a better time. It's not just about X's and O's, it's about momentum, belief, and resilience. The Commanders have been through adversity early in this season, but every step forward, whether it's Jayden getting closer to 100% or Cosmi working his way back, makes this team stronger. So here's the bottom line. Jayden Daniels has announced his plan to play this Sunday. Sam Cosmi is back on the practice field and could return within the next few weeks. For a team that's been grinding through adversity, this is exactly the kind of news you want to hear heading into Week 5. But I've got to throw it back to you, Commanders HQ family. What do you think? Do you believe Jayden is going to look like his old self right away on Sunday? Do you think Cosmi's return will give this offense the boost it needs to dominate again? Or do you feel like the defense has to step up more before we can start talking about real playoff potential? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear every perspective. And don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a single update. This is Commanders HQ signing off. We've got our quarterback coming back, we've got our O-line anchor on the way, and we've got a team that refuses to stop fighting. Sunday can't come soon enough.